In this video, we are going to talk about Top 10 Abandoned Amusement Parks. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for the future updates. Amusement parks are built to be a place of thrills and entertainment, wonder and awe. They should give fond memories and bring smiles to faces. But some parks are shrouded in mystery and misfortune, causing fear and shivers instead. In this list, we will discuss 10 parks that have a past dark enough to ruin any fun. Here's a list of Top 10 Abandoned Amusement Parks. Let's start. Number 10. Lake Shawnee Amusement Park. The rusted and overgrown rides of Lake Shawnee Amusement Park serve as a reminder of the failed West Virginia attraction, but its eerie past lives on in folklore for the area. To start, the park was built over a Native American burial ground, with an archaeological dig uncovering 13 bodies, mostly children. But that's not the darkest history of the land. In 1783, Mitchell Clay was the first European settler to make a home in the area, which was heavily inhabited by the Shawnee Native American tribe. While Clay was gone to town one day, the Shawnees surrounded 3 of the Clay children, who were working in the fields. Bartley was shot first. Tabitha, hearing the gunshot, ran to her brother, where she was attacked and cut by a knife, her body dismembered. Number 9. Holy Land, USA. With a Hollywood-style sign and a cross marking its entrance, Holy Land in Waterbury, the theme park contained replicas of famous biblical scenes, including the Last Supper, Garden of Eden, and an inn featuring a no vacancy sign. The park saw more than 50,000 visitors each year while it was open until owner John Baptist Greco closed the park in 1984 in order to expand it. Before he could reopen the park, however, Greco died, and the park was bequeathed to a group of nuns who maintained the grounds but never reopened it. People still found a way in, though, and vandalism and trespassing occurred, destroying many of the park's statues and attractions. In 2010, Chloe Ottman and her friend Francisco Cruz decided to explore the park. However, had different motives, and after Chloe refused to have sex with him, he raped and killed her, stabbing her in the neck, under the giant cross before throwing her body and belongings in the woods. Number 8. Gulliver's Kingdom. Japan is known for having some interesting ideas when it comes to parks and architecture, and one of their most interesting and largest failures was Gulliver's Kingdom, located at the base of Mount Fuji. The theme park, based on the Jonathan Swift book, cost $350 million to build and featured a 45-meter-long statue of Gulliver himself, with the main attraction being a bobsled ride, making it not exactly your typical amusement park. The location of the park, however, makes it even stranger. Right next to the park is Aokigahara Forest, better known as Suicide Forest, which is considered the second most popular suicide location after the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. The park was thoroughly demolished in 2007, leaving nothing behind except for the strange memories and photographs and the questions as to why anyone thought it would be a popular attraction. Number 7. Rocky Point Amusement Park. Rocky Point Amusement Park in Warwick, Rhode Island was one of the most popular attractions in the state, drawing crowds to its over 25 attractions and the famous Shore Dinner Hall and Palladium Ballroom. Most Rhode Islanders have a fond memory of visiting the park while it was open. Through all the happiness and memories, there is a dark mark on the park's past. In August of 1893, Maggie Sheffield, a 5-year-old girl, was killed by her father Frank while they attended the park. Frank had suffered a head injury shortly before Maggie was born, making him incredibly mentally unstable. Though it is not known exactly what made him flip on that late summer day, after a meal at the Shore Dinner Hall, he took his daughter to the shoreline, where he smashed her head in with a rock, killing her. Frank was found not guilty of his daughter's murder due to reason of insanity. Number 6. Joyland Amusement Park. Joyland was considered the biggest amusement park in the Southwest, featuring a train, Ferris wheel, merry-go-round, tilt-a-whirl, and a roller coaster, its main and most infamous attraction. The park would eventually grow to include a log flume ride, swings, bumper cars, and many other carnival-type attractions, as well as host concerts and outdoor festivals. After the murder, the park would continue to operate and grow in size, adding another roller coaster, but tragedy would continue to plague it. A park maintenance employee would be killed after getting hit by a roller coaster and, in 2004, A 13-year-old girl would be injured after a 30-foot fall from the Ferris wheel, which would lead to a series of financial issues and disputes that would eventually bring the park to close. Number 5. Kijinuma Leisure Land. Kijinuma Leisure Land was once a thriving amusement park in Tohoku, Japan, boasting the typical park rides such as a train, Ferris wheel, and carousel, as well as a driving range and a campsite. Today, however, nature has taken over the structures, leaving the park to look like a ghost town, and ghosts are what it is more infamously known for. The legend of the park begins with a beautiful woman who lived near the lake that sits on the site of Kijinuma Leisure Land, which was well known for housing an abundance of snakes. The woman became pregnant, and when she gave birth, the baby was a serpent who escaped into the water. Every night, the woman could hear her serpent baby cry, driving her mad, and she eventually committed suicide by drowning herself in the lake. Number 4. Dreamland Park. Dreamland Park began with a dark past that would continue to get darker. Built in the 1930s, the park would be open for less than 2 decades before it was shut down for rampant gambling and ties to the mafia. Autopsies would conclude that Marilyn had been raped repeatedly and beaten, her head severely fractured, while Glenn had been shot in the forehead and side of the head and had also been beaten. Robert Martinalik, 22, and Leroy Stoltzfus, 24, would ultimately be arrested for the murders of the couple. Martinalik and Stoltzfus would both be found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Each would maintain their innocence and appeal their cases until they each died while incarcerated. Number 3. Magic Harbor. Just 4 miles south of Myrtle Beach, Magic Harbor Amusement Park had all the makings of a fun attraction or roller coaster, bumper cars, tilt-a-whirl, hedge maze, Ferris wheel, and other all-ages rides, but it never really succeeded. It was determined Loftus shot coke over a wage and workmen's compensation dispute after Loftus, a carpenter for the park, was injured on the job. Loftus was given 2 life sentences for the murders and was denied parole multiple times. It seemed like the park's luck was about to turn around with Thompson managing, but in 1984, tragedy would strike the park again. Number 2. Brandywine Springs. Brandywine Springs Amusement Parks was a Wilmington, Delaware attraction from 1886 to 1923, and a solid example of early 20th century fun. There was a castle house, train, wooden roller coaster, restaurants, pavilion, and a magnificent archway leading into the park. Gongas was infatuated with Buadeki, who was a waitress at the restaurant, and was apparently upset she turned down his advances, prompting him to snap and kill her. Concrete slabs and muddy pools are all that remains of the amusement park today, but local historians are working on excavating and marking sites of where the major attractions stood, putting up signs and photographs to educate those who walk through the site. Number 1. Prepaid Amusement Park. Maybe the most horrific history behind an amusement park is one that never came to be. Prepaid Amusement Park in Pripyat, but 5 days before its scheduled opening, the Chernobyl disaster occurred nearby, resulting in 30 deaths in the months following the explosion. The park consisted of attractions, bumper cars, swing boats, a swing, carousel, and a Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel still stands today, unfinished and towering over the scene of destruction, and the bumper cars are the strongest area of radiation in the park due to the overgrown vegetation. It is believed the park was opened early for one day, to calm people from the disaster before they were forced to pack up their belongings and be bussed out of the city, never to return. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.